Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:08, Tuesday, August 30th, 72 degrees, getting up to 83 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are joined in studio by Joann Burney. She is one of the owners of, her and her husband together, right? So
yes.
So you're really the only owner because we know that, anyway. Of Allaire Community Farm. Yes, I said it. So first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Why don't you tell folks what Allaire Community Farm is all about?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
My husband and I, Sean, started this farm in 2013. What we are is we're a 501c3 nonprofit animal rescue. And what we do is we rescue these beautiful animals, and then we use those to work with special needs children and at-risk teens. We also have a growing component. And this year, we started a community garden. And what we do is we provide free produce weekly to local families battling cancer. We also, through the what we reap from our community garden, our plan is to eventually supply to 4 local food pantries. And right now, we're just giving to Grace Bible in Wall Township because they are Wall's largest food bank. So that's kind of what we do. Our goal is to really help the disenfranchised, young people with special needs that have educated out of the system, and now they need to get some employment. What our goal is to give them meaningful employment,
right?
So that they would come, they would learn how to work with animals, how to help us with events we have. They would go into the greenhouses, learn different planting styles and different planting methods, and then, learn a skill, learn a craft,
Sure.
where they can then leave and go to work in a local greenhouse. And also just to for them to give back. It will build their self-esteem, give them a sense of purpose, make them feel, really good about getting up every day and going to work.
Cool. So did you always do the whole farm thing? I mean, was that like a childhood thing and you guys decided to go into it? How did that happen?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
This was not in my 5-10-year plan. I can tell you that for
your
sure.
Your guidance counselor wasn't saying to you, well, listen, Joann, this is a foregone conclusion. This is what you're going to do.
No. Farming, I don't particularly even like the dirt.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a beach person myself. But what happened is in 2008, my husband was in investment real estate. And basically when the stock market took a hit, investment real estate went away
Sure.
in New Jersey. And so we talked, and I said, do something you have a passion for. Don't worry about the money. Just worry about, doing something that fulfills you. And our son had been on a mission trip and had heard about urban gardening. And he came home and told my husband about it. My husband was really interested in that. And so he said, I think I want to get into organic gardening in greenhouses, hydroponic, aquaponic, different methods
Right.
of gardening. I said, great. Go find a farm and do it.
Wait a second. You're telling me that your husband was investing in real estate, right?
Yes.
And then the market bottoms out,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "You know what, honey? I think I'd really like to get into gardening." And you're like, "Great, go for it." Because I'm pretty sure that if I had said to my wife at some point, "You know what? I'm going to put away all this other stuff. I know I've been in retail for 17 years and all this other stuff. I think it's time now for me to get into gardening." I'm pretty sure I know what she would say to me, and it wouldn't have been great, honey. But that's how it went down?
That's kind of how it went down.
Wow.
We're in our 50s now. We've lived a long life. We know what it's like to have a lot of success, but money is not what brings pure joy. And so, it's really not about the money anymore.
Okay.
It's although, you need that to pay the bills,
Sure.
it's about being fulfilled. It's about giving back. It's about making an impact in the short life we
All right,
live.
cool. I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Yeah.
That was a farm reference there.
I get it.
See what I did there? Okay, so let's go back now. After I so rudely interrupted you. So now you're saying that he says, okay, I want to get into hydroponics, aqua, whatever, all this gardening, greenhouses, organics, and you're like, okay, go for it, honey. So now what happens?
Okay. Well, what I was thinking is I was going to be the bread maker, winner now. So my goal was.
You're thinking, oh, he's getting to this. We're out of luck. I better go make money.
Let me backtrack a little bit. I had a career in higher education.
Okay.
And we got married later in life. I was 35 when I had my first child.
Okay.
And had our second at 38. And once I had my kids, my desire to have a career full time. I was working at Rutgers. I was a first year dean for Rutgers College.
Oh,
okay. I wanted to raise my kids. I waited a long time to have them, and I wanted to raise them. So I stayed home and always thinking I'm going to go back into higher ed.
Sure.
And that was my plan. When my kids got a little older, I had an undergraduate degree in teaching, so I taught kindergarten at a local school that they attended, a local private school, and had done that for a few years when the bottom came out of the real estate market. So at that point, I'm thinking, all right, I'll go back into higher ed.
Right.
He can go do his dream. I got to stay home, raise the kids. It's his turn now to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it went down. And that was the plan. So Sean decided he started looking for, that's my husband, Sean, started looking for properties. He found a property for rent in Wall Township. And we selected that property because it was in a higher income area. We figured people could afford, organic produce. And so we leased that property and started working with the Township of Wall to get approvals for organic greenhouses. That all took about a year to get all that taken care of, get the property cleaned up, get the approvals. Long story short, we have approvals for 10 commercial greenhouses at this point. The first winter we had the farm, this is when it all changed. The first winter we had the farm, we were living in Howell. We lived there for 20 years with our family. And we got a call in the middle of a major snowstorm to rescue animals.
Okay.
Animal control was calling all local farms. And to be honest with you, we didn't even really think about it. We just said, okay, because we love animals. And they were dying. The particular farm we got a call about, there were 13 alpaca carcasses found on the property.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was the right thing to do.
Sure.
And so we did it. We called our friends and we built paddocks on the farm. There weren't any there to accommodate these particular animals. It was a donkey, 2 goats, 2 sheep, and an alpaca. And so we, in the middle of a snowstorm, called upon our friends, all of whom were older than us, and we built these paddocks for these animals. We went and we rescued them, and it kind of changed our life. What happened is when spring came, friends of mine said, well, heck, you're a kindergarten teacher. You have access to all these young children. You have these animals. You should do some parties to help pay the bills. And I was like, I could do that. So we started inviting some of our kindergartners to have birthday parties at the farm. And, anytime you have a group of young people, you're going to have a group of kids. You're going to have some of those children that have special needs.
Sure.
And what we saw changed my perspective on what I wanted to do. And
Good. So let's bookmark it right there.
Okay.
Okay, because that's a perfect. So you did really well. You got this whole radio thing down because you just created our tease for our next segment, right, of where it all changed for you.
Okay.
So we'll pick it up right there when we get back. We're talking to Joann Burney. This is Allaire Community Farm, and pretty cool story. So back with the rest of it when we get back.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin wherever you go. Download the Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. We're here with Joann Burney, Allaire Community Farm. So you were saying that. So you're having just so we could recap. So you're doing like having kids come out to the farm to see the animals and see what you guys have going on there. And you said there's always some group of special needs kids there. There's always some in every group, and that's kind of changed your perspective on things again. So pick it up from there.
Yes, the first party we had. I noticed some of the children that were in my classroom. I knew them, because I had taught them. I noticed how the animals were bringing out their personalities more and putting them at ease. And I saw, a little boy that was not one to make eye contact or speak with anyone. Just there, we have brushes and they can groom the animals. And he was grooming the donkey, and he had this huge smile on his face. And as the parties continued, we saw children that were nonverbal start to speak. We saw children that would not hug you, hug their parents. And I would see crying parents a lot. And I would, say, is everything okay? And they said, he doesn't talk or he doesn't hug. And I said to my husband, Sean, I said, this is something that I could get on board with. This is something that, I think I could do. Let's talk about how we can make this work and how we can help these children. And so that's what we started to do. We realized, in order to have the programs for these young people, we needed to raise funds. So we needed to be a 501c3 because you need to have that tax write-off for businesses.
Sure.
And so we didn't have any money to do the hire a lawyer to do that for us. So my husband, who was used to doing real estate contracts, went online, learned how to write fill out all the IRS papers. Long story short, we got our nonprofit status in 3 months with the Internal Revenue Service. So that to us was just more proof that this is what we were meant to be doing. And so that happened last June.
Right.
A year ago, this past June, that we became a nonprofit, and then formed a board of directors, and that's how it went. The career in higher education got put on the back burner.
Sure.
And now this is what we do for a living.
All right. So what you do for a living? So let's stop there. So we have a whole bunch of different things going on here, right? So you got the whole organic produce thing, right? You got a petting zoo, okay? You do pony and farm parties.
Yep.
Right, weddings, special events, they can do there.
Yep.
And the whole, of course, class trips. So give me what are you most proud of? What do you think the coolest stuff you do is?
What I'm most proud of is when we do community outreach days. So we will open the farm up for free. We'll get local businesses to sponsor us. We had a gala done in our honor this year by Mid-Atlantic Financial in Wall Township, and they raised $20,000 for the farm. And with that money, it helps us to pay the rent because we lease the property and support the animals with their vet bills and their feed and all of that. But what we're able to do is to provide some free programs to special needs children and their families. So we'll have the farm open, we'll have hay rides, we'll have pony rides, we'll have free food. Applebee's is a great supporter of providing lunch for all of the people that attend. We have Whole Foods just opened up down the street from us. They started partnering with us. They'll bring in, healthy snacks for the kids and drinks for them. It's just a wonderful event, and we do these regularly. That we're open to the public, and we invite Autism Speaks and POAC and Latison and all the major organizations that deal with special needs children. From those events, they get to meet our trainer, who's a certified therapeutic trainer, that she can do some equestrian riding with them, which that motion on being on a horse is really very beneficial to a young person, particularly with autism. And we get to meet a lot of people from that have Down syndrome, and we like to have music, and they come and they dance, and it's just a great event. That's what we're most proud of, is that we provide a safe place for families to come, because you never know how your autistic child is going to react. They may, be screaming and yelling and on the ground. And you know what? That's okay.
Right.
Parents don't have to worry. They don't have to say, oh, my gosh, everybody's looking at me. We got to get out of here.
Right.
We don't bat an eye, and, it's a safe place for a family to come and relax, and for the siblings of those kids who lots of time get put on the back burner.
Right. Cool.
We try to make them feel special
Absolutely.
that day.
So Joann, Burney, Allaire Community Farm. When we get back, we could talk about some of the upcoming events you have that are going on and ways that folks can help kind of support what's clearly a great cause and a great organization at the Jersey Shore. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Listen to the news. Back after this.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:35, Tuesday, August 30th, 72 degrees, getting up to 83 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310, News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. Messed that one up. I just totally butchered that.
Sloppy.
That was miserable. I'm not in midweek form yet. It's day one for me this week. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are here with Joann Burney, Allaire Community Farm. So, you mentioned, as we all know, the famous adage in the nonprofit world is no money, no mission, right? It's important,
That's right.
So what kind of events do you have upcoming that we can help you with the money part? So what do you got going on?
Great. Thanks for asking. Events we do year-round. We do our biggest money makers are class trips. And coming up with the fall, I just did a major mailing yesterday. We have class trips for primarily preschool and elementary schools. So the kids would come, they pick a pumpkin, they groom the animals, they gather eggs in the hen house, they go on a great hayride. We're on 22.5 acres, beautiful property, and it's just a great outdoor fall event. I am a certified teacher, so I will adapt the class trip to the curriculum, whatever it is that they want me to focus on. So class trips are big. Also, if for middle school, elementary school, and high school classes for special needs children, we really want to get those kids on our farm, and because we're on mission with that, and we want to do that on a regular basis. The other thing we do is birthday parties. We do those primarily on the weekends. We have 4 time slots, but we also do them during the week if you want to have it on your child's actual birthday. Those are our events that we do regularly. We do scouting events, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, come on out. We do provide a 33% discount to our scouts for our class trip price. So
it's almost 1/3.
Yeah, because we think it's important, and we really want kids outdoors and learning that.
Right.
So, that's another thing we do. We're having major events because the winter months are tough for us because nobody wants to come hang out when it's freezing. And so we're doing some major events this fall to raise money to pay for the animals, pay for our rent over the winter. The first is on Friday, September 23rd, we're doing Ignite the Night, and that's to bring awareness to the lack of funding that goes into pediatric cancer.
Right.
And people can come. We're going to have fireworks that night, and it's a great family fun night. We're going to have a band there playing from the Lake House Beach Music Academy in Asbury Park, and that's more an awareness night than a fundraiser, but people can come and donate. We have fundraising donation boxes all over the farm. On Saturday, September 24th, the next day, we're going to do a farm-to-table event. And that's from Branches Catering. They're one of our partners. They believe in our mission, and they want to. We're doing a farm to table. They also do what goes on at Laredo Winery, so they're going to start mirroring those type of events at our farm. Saturday, October 8th, we're doing our first annual food truck festival.
Cool.
And so again, we're doing that with Branches Catering, and that should be another fun event for the family to come out and participate in. Saturday, October 15th, we're doing a car show and vendor sale. And another, again, fundraiser, but a great family event. October's a great time to be on the farm. The leaves are turning there. Get your pumpkin there. And it's just a great time to come out. And then our last event we're doing, this isn't a fundraiser, but it's near and dear to our heart. It's Saturday, November 6th. We're doing a Special Needs Harvest Festival, and that's for families that have children with special needs. It's a completely free event that they would come out and just enjoy the farm. Again, we're going to have live music, free food. It's going to be a great day.
Cool. So with all the stuff you're doing, now it's time to do just a little bit more, where we give you your magic wand, your pixie dust, your fairy dust, your ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact. This is it. All right. So if I asked you, Joann, from Allaire Community Farm, what you would do, what would you do?
In a perfect world, we get very generous people that have been blessed with a lot of money that give us money to put up these 10 commercial greenhouses that we've been approved for by the Township of Wall. And those greenhouses would be worked on a daily basis by high-functioning special needs young adults, by children, teenagers with that are at risk, that are depressed, that are self-harming, that they're going to come over and they're going to work these greenhouses, and their whole attitude is going to change about themselves and their future. And they're going to take all of that produce that they grow. They're going to deliver it to local food pantries. They're going to bring it to local restaurants that have already agreed to purchase it once we get on board. Merrymakers Cater has agreed to do that. Whole Foods has agreed to give us space. That's what I see happening, that these young people are going to have jobs with meaning and purpose and going to show up to work every day and feel good about themselves. And Sean and I are going to be just thrilled to be making an impact, a positive impact on our community.
Cool. Joann, why don't you tell folks where they could learn more about Allaire Community Farm? Website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tinder, whatever you got. Go ahead.
We have a website, AllaireCommunityFarm.org. You can go there. But if you want to know things that are changing on a regular basis, when we're open to the public, when we have a big events, Facebook, like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are the ways that we communicate with our community.
Very cool. Listen, unbelievable story. Amazing how life takes its turns, right? But it sounds like every time you got handed lemons, you turned it into lemonade, and now you're turning it to lemonade for local communities. So really great job by you and all you're doing. And thank you for what you're doing at the Jersey Shore.
Thank you for having us in. We so appreciate it.
Cool. Joann Burney, Allaire Community Farm, doing great work here at the Jersey Shore. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.